what kind of music do you play?
I like ballads, and I like jazz arrangements on ballads. I'm not like very proficient with like what you call a jazz pianist, not to that level, but it's more like I like composing, and I compose music. I played classical. Like I went to conservatory like grade 10,
Yeah.
but that was when I was younger, and then I got more into like popular music and jazz arrangements on like ballads and things like that. I like show tunes. I play a little bit of I like movie theme music and things like that. So it's kind of like I just like a little bit of everything. The commitment required for classical is, it takes a lot of time. So I guess I'm more comfortable right now. Like I can do it, but I'd have to put the time in.
Right.
But that's what I like about improv and like, the jazz is you can just learn the chords and the melody and then you kind of wing it.
It's just more
Yeah. But I guess you started off with classical when you were younger? No?
I'm self-taught.
Self-taught, okay. But you probably just have these natural talents because you mentioned perfect pitch.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare. So, I mean, if you could just listen to music and then once you knew the chords, you could just hear it and then you already probably figured in your mind how to play it. So
I sort of reverse taught myself a little bit of theory just to be able to kind of communicate with other musicians.
Yeah. Well, what kind of band were you playing? Like probably a few different types, but what did you jazz trios and quartets?
I was in an organ trio and kind of a soul, funk, R&B band.
Like so, when you say that, funk, like primary in the 70s is when it started. The musicianship, from the musicians that before like all electronic era came in. And then, with all the synths and, sequencing and all the music, it kind of takes away, the talent. Because basically you can get computers to do it, like things and play things that you would have had to practice and get live musicians to play. Even the way they recorded back then in the studios with the mics, overheads, and kind of not 8 tracks even like way back in the 50s. And as it progressed, you had 20.
But that's the feel of that music is that it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
I like it, a little, the beat is behind slightly, a little slower and behind the beat or almost sloppy sound. So it's not like quantized. Exact.
Even when they quantize it, they have a loose figure on it, but it still is like algorithm, so it still can't.
I can tell immediately. So it's real feel, just that raw feeling when you play with a band. Just drums and bass, guitar and keys.
So I was mentioning that funk in the 70s. Like when you asked me what kind of music I like a lot of this music from the 70s, some from the 80s, because I just feel like the songs back then, like it was more about what you would call a song. It had like a verse, like a pre-chorus, a chorus, bridge. It had key changes. It had interesting, counter melodies, things happening, not just like loops and samples and beats now. So I think, is that similarly like why you like funk and stuff? Because it's interesting.
Well, funk, it's different now. Like what I really gravitated was to that kind of repetitive beat, like James Brown.
Oh yeah.
Where it'd be just like a groove. That's what really got me into that style of music. But now, do you know D'Angelo?
Yeah.
So like that's more new soul, new funk.
Yeah.
But that kind of, as he's an incredible songwriter, incredible musician, and then the musicians that play with him are top notch. But stuff like Prince.
Oh yeah, Prince is amazing.
Love Prince.
He's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
Prolific.
And just incredible musician.
Yeah. He could play multi-instrument. I found like even like so the R&B slash hip hop, let's just call it more R&B soul music that was in like the late 90s, early 2000s even.
Yeah.
Even that was really good in terms of
Yeah.
talent. There was a lot of artists and songs that I liked. And
Yeah,
then
that was a heyday for me. It was, you know, that early 90s hip hop and R&B.
yeah.
Because that's when, like, some of the musicians, like, that's when Questlove and Erykah Badu and Talib Kweli and Common and D'Angelo, they're called the Soultronics or something.
Oh,
Or
okay.
I think that's,
For,
but they, you know, they were all in the same studio,
Mhm.
and they did Erykah Badu's album, Baduism, D'Angelo's Voodoo, Common's B, and The Roots, Things Fall Apart. And they were all in the studio together, and they were just kind of going up and down the levels. And so those are like 4 classic albums.
were you there at all in the studio with them? Oh,
No.
it's on a Canadian ring.
No, I wish. But that was, you know, when that was happening, how old was I? I was in high school. So, but yeah, just, you know, incredible.
You know what I find? Like, speaking of some of these artists, like they're real popular, like say in their time.
Mhm.
I go to their YouTube channel, and then I see like their top 2 videos, let's say, or so, have like, you know, 1 million or close to that, like, views. But then the subscribers are like maybe 3,000 or 5,000. It makes me think, like, obviously people like the song, but I guess because it's, you know, we're talking like 20 years ago, right? So they don't get, like, there's the young
20
groups.
at least. Right?
Yeah, well, more than 20. But there's the younger, like, generation now who, like, never even really probably had, like, a record deal. They're just big on YouTube. And they have, like, even close to 1 million subscribers, or, like, a few 100,000. It's quite a different world now.
Yeah. It's... We have... I have 2 young kids. So we're... Right now, you know, I'm in, like, teaching mode where I'm just... They're very... 3 years old and 6 years old. And they know more about music than most adults. Just because we're constantly listening to music and playing.
And they can access on their phone, I guess, all these, when they want to look up something, right? And
well, they're young enough that they're not into that yet. But
okay.
I just constantly. So right now we're, you know, different times of the year, we just go through periods. But right now we're like listening to a lot of 80s.
Yeah.
So
I love the 80s.
We're they know every song, like Huey Lewis and the News.
It's party music. A lot of it's upbeat, right? And happy music. That was the decade of course they had like the metal. I like metal too, like the musicianship in them too, like, you know, the age of the gods on guitar, right?
Yeah. Well, that's another lesson is AC/DC. So I've got my son, he's like, I'm super biased, but he'll hear a song and it'll stick. Like if there's like a catchy, you know, riff, he'll sing it and he'll play it. Like he'll come over and he'll
do that? It. Wow.
He's incredible. So it's like, you know, just yesterday, you know, that AC/DC song Money Talks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Come on,
I remember
that one. And he's singing that like. And Michael Jackson, lots of Michael Jackson, Prince, of course. You know, do you ever listen to Little Feat?
No, I don't really listen to them.
So Little Feat's kind of like a Louisiana, New Orleans kind of incredible band.
I'll have to look them up. I was thinking, like, a lot of AC/DC songs are probably in the same key.
Yeah.
Right? But the way they make them interesting, though, as you said, because it's a catchy hook, good melody.
And I can hear, Like if I'm looking for a song to show him, like I'll know if he's gonna gravitate to it, because I'll know like there's a hook.
Yeah.
And
Thunderstruck seems to be like, when we talk about the new generations, that's probably one of the most known that they know of AC/DC. I see all these YouTube videos of people playing the lick, the famous lick from it.
Yeah.
Even on piano.
Yeah. It sounds ridiculous on the piano, but.
That's,
we go through went through a huge Beatles phase.
Yeah.
When he was 2, and he's got
the early Beatles or like mid, like Sgt. Pepper's.
More I'd say later Beatles.
Oh yeah.
But just all of it's good. So we just there's no, I won't allow like kid songs like.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you want them to get exposure earlier to like more authentic rather than.
Like they'll listen to Steely Dan.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I think that'll mature them more.
It already has.
Yeah.
Like they just have a better understanding of what music is, and my daughter's got a great voice.
Mm-hmm. That's good, because you're going to be able to instill the love of music you have in them, and they'll probably end up doing something, maybe even together they'll start performing.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah, and you can
we
be
got
the manager.
I got drums for my son for Christmas, and we've got a bass, guitar, piano.
Yeah, I really like that. You're not just limiting them to one instrument either, right? You're making them multi.
So my daughter's taking piano lessons now, but to me that's like gotta start there.
Yeah, I think like you said, like lessons teaches discipline, but then there's people who just love it so much playing. They're gonna they don't need the discipline. They're just gonna practice anyway because they love it. Yeah, and I guess that's the type of students or talent worth continuing and pursuing.
Yeah.
You have to make it interesting though too. I guess I can see that's what you're doing now by showing them all this various music, where it's like when I went, like for example, I just had like a lady down the street, like everybody knew her as the piano teacher. So then what happened was I would go there and she's giving me like the standard startup books, but it's like those kids type of songs and just like da 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 da. So probably kids, some of them lose interest just because they're listening to music that they like and they wish they could play that, and then the teacher tells them no, you got to learn this.
Right. Well, I tell her that every day because she fights me on practicing and stuff too. But I just say, I make it like it's not an option. This is what we do.
Yeah.
You have to go to school, you have to learn math and stuff, and you have to learn music.
Yeah.
And I tell her every day, I'm like, how many times, because every day I'm playing and tuning, and every day I hear people say, oh, I wish I could play like that.
Yeah. When they're old, when people are older, when they grow up.
And I also hear, oh, I wish I didn't quit piano. I tell her that every day. I'm like, I hear that every day, and she's smart. She gets it. She's still.
Do you only tell them, or do they actually hear it from other people, or that they hear other people saying that, or they watch a video, or like they see it on TV, or they hear one of your relatives or somebody say that, or is it from you?
Mostly from me. Okay. They're still so young. They're not out there in the world.
Yeah. I just want maybe relatives, because the reason why I ask is I think like with kids, sometimes being logical and explain it to them. Sometimes they get it, and sometimes they have to experience it. They don't.
But she'll say like when she just had her birthday, and there's a bunch of kids over, and she's like, Dad, go play the piano.
Yeah.
Go play this song, and I'll come and I'll play, and all the kids watch. And it's a big thing, and I can see she's really proud.
Yeah.
that I'm, can entertain a group of people.
Huh.
So, I tell her, like, that's why I want you to be able to do it. And she's very artistic, and she loves the center stage kind of thing. So
That's good for being a singer.
yeah, like she was just in the musical Matilda as Matilda.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got a great voice, confidence. But yeah, like if I didn't push her to play piano, she wouldn't do it, for sure.
Do you think like the confidence that she has is partly due because she's just a confident person being, or is it also because she knows she's good for her
I think
age?
it's just who she is.
Okay.
I don't. That's my impression. She has support and loving family. That helps. But I think ultimately, you can do whatever you
Yeah.
can guide them. You can play classical music. But they are who they are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's like, I really believe that like she's made from me and so there's components of me in there and my wife, but she's her own person and we can kind of guide, but she is who she is.
Beautiful.